Cool. All right. It shows that we're live. We live too, bros. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations unto you elect across the four winds of this earth, fulfilling your lots in all truth and all sincerity. All right, we are the Great Millstone Dallas branch with a special guest. All right, the elder brother ICR from out there in South Carolina camp. You know, and we're gonna have a class session like how we usually do on the Saturdays, and we record and post it online for y'all to see. You know, and in this topic today, we're gonna go into or start, I'd rather say, at John the 3rd chapter, the famous verse that Christians love to run to. All right, to feel their way of justifying the whole world being saved, but not having a understanding on what that's really alluding to.
That's right.
We're gonna go into that and what Yahweh Shai says and what he means, and also the importance of how much that applies, especially in this day that we're in right now. All right, when shit getting ready to go haywire here within the next few moments.
That's right.
You know, so we're gonna start off on John the 3rd chapter in verse 14, but just to give a brief abridgment. All right, our Lord Yahweh Shai is having a conversation with Nicodemus, who was a doctor in the law or a Pharisee. All right, and when you read about this account, or the order of at least in John, this is after he flips the tables and such, you know, and whips those with the cats and nine tails and all of that, you know. But afterwards, Nicodemus came to Yahweh Shai privily, you know, and Yahweh Shai is having an intimate conversation with a doctor in the law. And it's the reason why I'm explaining it. So for whenever y'all have your own time to read it, like when he's having the conversation, he's expressing something to Nicodemus in a way that Nicodemus can relate to, because he's a doctor in the law. That's why he's going into precepts and the history, which is going to lead to us starting off in the 14th verse. All right, so we can start there, and the Lord's willing, this is edifying.
Okay. St. John 3 and 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
All right, so Yahweh Shai doesn't have to tell Nicodemus exactly where to find this account at. Again, he's talking to a doctor in the law who is very well, you know, understood about this account. All right, and he's using this account of back then history with us being in the wilderness, catching hell, and how we looked upon that serpent for a miracle to take place. All right, and not even just that, but to live. That was the miracle, to live.
Yep.
All right. Now, really quick before you continue, Zaquan, Baba Kashaw, if you can read, and you're holding numbers, right? Are you holding numbers?
Number 21.
Okay.
Let's get that real quick.
Come.
All right, this is number 21. Start at the top.
Yeah, let's start from the top.
All right, this is Numbers, chapter 21. All right, and the title of this chapter is The Serpent of Brass. Numbers chapter 21, and it reads, And when the king Arad, the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard to tell that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. Verse 2, And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, and said, If thou wilt indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities.
Boom. You see that? You know, praying right to the Lord immediately. All right. Now we can continue because that's not the point. But I wanted to start here for a reason. Because when you read the victory that we had and you see how Jake was just in rebellious mode immediately, it shows you that these are the Israelites. You know, but you got it, bro.
Numbers 21 and verse 3. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai hearkened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormah.
Hormah. And I forgot what Hormah means exactly. I looked it up one day. But ultimately the Lord had a victory. The Lord, you know, made us victors over our enemies around this time.
That's right.
All right. This was a standard, a miracle that literally happened. All right.
I ain't gonna lie, I got that for you. According to my study
Okay.
Bible, it means like literally utter destruction.
Utter destruction, the water.
Yeah.
Heavy.
So the Lord sent a victory to us in the form of utter destruction. All right. And these are things to remember. Just because the Lord had that happen back then don't mean they just don't apply today. Scriptures say, I am the Lord, I change not. We're in a time right now, our enemies like got a boot on our neck. Esau getting ready to come down with some vicious shit. We finna see the Lord work some crazy stuff. You know? You got it, bro.
Numbers 21 and 4. And they journeyed from the Mount And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom.
Right, so this is literally after that the Lord lifted up that standard, they went into another region and it compassed the land of Edom. All right, and when you actually look on a map, because they were to the land of Canaan, you got the land of Edom, all right, the bottom right side. All right, I think it's what the southeast side of it. You know, so it was in between both of them, still right there on those borders. You know, you got it, bro.
And it says, and to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way.
Now the Lord just lifted up this crucial victory. Just lifted up a standard, destroyed our enemies before our face, and Jake was in that mode again, that complaining mode. All right.
Verse 5, and the people spake against the Most High, and against Moses. Wherefore have you brought us up out of the Egypt? Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread.
Right. And that's exactly how Jake feel today. But you hear the list of complaints that these niggas had. All right. Right after the Lord literally obliterated their enemies right before their face. Y'all, you brought us out to Egypt to die. Nigga, you don't see what the Lord just did a little bit ago? You know?
Yeah. No, I was agreeing. That can't be nobody but niggas.
That can't be nobody but niggas. Immediately. Like we don't know exactly how the Lord saved us, but you can imagine the theatrics tied behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord don't ever show his glory in a very nonchalant way. I mean, he can, but for the enemies to be destroyed in that way, the Lord worked. You know, and Jake seen it. Jake always seen it. The chariot that was over them right there leading them throughout the wilderness for those 40 years. Mm-hmm. They seen it and still couldn't get right.
Yep.
Which shows you that this is a very stiff-necked, hard-headed people. Case in point, the example of that wildebeest last night at camp. Mm-hmm. Dang demon that came up there. Jake was like that back then, bro. Makes sense why the Lord put a lot of Jake to death. You know? You got it, bro.
And the scriptures say that Jake is a very forgetful people. You know, Jake is quick to forget the deeds of the Most High. Like you said, here it is, he destroyed Hormah, which literally meant utter destruction. And they saw that and they still complained. You know?
That's right.
So reading on, Numbers 25, verse 6, it says, and the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, sent fiery serpents among the people. And they bit the people, and much people of Israel died.
And when I was reading that, I was like, yo, dang, it makes sense why the Lord did that in that way. Because it ain't like they were just discouraged and complaining, but it was also on top of the Lord lifting up a standard.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you said that they said that they're tired of this bread. What's the bread? It's the manna.
That's right. That's right. Man, something to consider about that manna, bro. Like, we was eating that the whole 40 years, like, nonstop.
Right.
In every meal we had. You know what I'm saying? When you read it in Joshua, it goes into, you know, when he circumcised the children of Israel, then the Lord stopped sending manna down. You know, so Jake was eating that every day, and you had wicked niggas tired of it, bro. Yeah. You know, that's why Yahweh Shai said, I am the bread from heaven.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, he used to be eating every day. No, you go. You
no, I was thinking that. Like, that's why Jake, Yahweh Shai, is too simple for Jake.
That's right.
Like, old girl came on last night. She knew the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Yeah. She said she's been watching for years, for 6 years, but she wanted to add her own doctrine. But that was just representation of the mindset of Israel, man. It's like these scriptures it's too simple for Jake.
Yep.
You know?
Simplicity in your house.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
And with that manna, when you research it, they say that manna had enough nutrients and vitamins and minerals to keep it sustained for that whole day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Pretty much
It's a superfood.
everything in there
Yeah.
for you.
Yes.
You know, Jake. Oh, you go ahead, bro.
It's classic Jake. They put their wants before their needs.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we need is within the spirit. But they, like you said, they always want to venture off and add something else to it.
That's right. Jake literally denied life. When you read about those different accounts, those men, Moses was old. Joshua, after they left the wilderness and entered into the land of Canaan, he said, I'm still 80 and I feel like I'm at my strength in my youth.
Heavy.
You know? So the Lord was heavily with Jake around that time. So it shows you when he sent serpents out to kill them, that was with intentions to kill their asses. Kill the wicked. You know? But if you can read that again, Baba Kashar going into those fiery serpents.
Got you. Numbers 21. Numbers 21 and verse 6. And the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died.
A lot of niggas, the Lord trimmed a lot of fat. And we're entering into that phase right now
Yep.
where a lot of fat is getting ready to be trimmed. It's the reason why these people are bucking up the way that they are. Going, delving in their outlandish doctrine and breakdown. Case in point, that chick last night, she's talking about it. She's just a little minute example. You know, the Lord is getting ready to trim a lot of fat. All right. Then the Lord gonna lift up that standard too. You got it, bro.
Verse 7, Numbers 21 and 7. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, and against thee.
Man, the Lord has a heck of a way of having somebody convert from wickedness, man. He'll do some traumatizing stuff to you in order for you to repent and realize your deeds.
That's right.
You know, makes sense why he's a terrible power and why we must fear the Lord. All right? He can send a very direct, strict realization to your ass real quick. You know?
Yes.
Had Jake running back to daddy, please. Same power you were just talking shit against, murmuring against. You know? Go ahead.
For we have spoken against the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, and against thee. Pray unto the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live.
Right. When you bitten, you shall live. Now, when you notice, Jake prayed. Jake asked Moses to pray to the Lord that those serpents go away. You know, they ain't go away. It was part of their walk, part of their story. The only difference was when you get bit by the serpent, you're going to live. And you correlate that today. Back then, even the days of Yahweh Shai, when he said, look upon me. All right, remember who was in power those days? The Romans. Jake catching hell. Jake was in slavery, just like today. You know? You read it in Matthew the 11th chapter. It says, from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So back then, it was actual serpents. But who's the modern day serpents today that's biting us? Esau.
That's right.
Baba Kashaw, somebody hold Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 17.
Okay.
Start at verse 15, Baba Kashaw. Let's see what that
Jeremiah
says.
8:15. So Jeremiah 8:15, it reads, we looked for peace, but no good came, and for a time of health, and behold trouble. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the name of his strong ones.
Now, when you go into this right here, now Jake was looking for peace, but the noise of the horse came. That goes into our enemies conquering us being brought down. When you read Jeremiah, Ezekiel, those different prophets, a lot of those prophecies were either future prophecies to take place or prophecies that were to come to pass shortly around that time, or certain dualities. Jeremiah prophesied about the Babylonians conquering Jerusalem, and that was part of his ministry. All right? And he was telling Jake, look, this troop gonna come up against you. Listen to them. Don't rebel against the Lord. He's setting them up over you. All right? So he's going into how we were going to be taken completely around that time by our enemies. Okay, you got it, Yuan.
Continue on. For they are come and have devoured the land, and all that is in it, the city, and those that dwell therein. For behold, I will send serpents and cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, saith the Lord.
You see the correlation right there with Numbers 21?
Yeah, because the cockatrices are vipers.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Fiery serpents.
And it says that they're not going to be charmed.
They're not going to be charmed.
You know, like who pitieth the serpent that's bit by who pitieth the serpent, a charmer that's bit by a serpent.
Right.
They're not going to be charmed, meaning like when you charm a serpent, you would sing a particular tune, and the serpent will come up. But these serpents, spiritually, ain't going to be charmed.
Right.
Man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about the wicked. You know, our enemies, man.
Exactly. Ain't no type of swift speech or smooth speech you can say to change their damn mind.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Right.
You can look at that key case in point, slavery. Jake is a very slick people. Jake probably tried to get they asses out of a lot of ass whoopings. Well, look, this really happened. Oh, man, they still beat our ass. And 3 more now since you said something. Open your mouth, boy. You know? Hey, you got can you pull the NLT version of that too, bro? Did you read it from the phone?
Okay, I'll get it in.
If not, I can pull it up on mine or whatever. It don't matter.
You said Jeremiah 8:15.
Yeah.
I can get there real quick.
You can just do 17 in the NLT.
Okay, Jeremiah, the 8th chapter and the 17th verse. It reads, ready? For behold, I will send serpents. This is so like the NLT says this. It says, I will send these enemy troops among you, like poisonous snakes.
Just like poisonous snakes. So it might not be physical serpents right now, but our enemy can pass us against like a flood, as the scriptures say, Isaiah 59. Well, that's what's going to happen. Revelation 12:12 says, for Satan knoweth he has a short time. You know, so he's getting ready to come down. All right. Matter of fact, and we can read 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, going into that great insurrection.
Can I get a precept?
Yeah, come. Because these are the times that we're approaching, like right now. There's only a few more little pieces of prophecy that got to play out before all these events take place. These are stories that we got to constantly go over in our heads and constantly remember, especially as these days come close. You know, you got it, Tosh.
This is Isaiah chapter 27:1. In that day, Yahweh with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Now I'm gonna get a couple words here just to prove that this isn't talking about actual Leviathan that's spoken about in
Revelation.
Job the 41st chapter. But I'm gonna get a couple words here. So that word Leviathan, I'm sorry, I want to get that word piercing. Excuse me. That word piercing here is barach, which when you get that word, it means fleeing or fugitive. Now we know who's a fugitive and a vagabond on the planet Earth. Cain, which we know that's Esau, right? And then the root word is barach, which means to go through, flee, run away, chase. All right, and then that's the word for piercing. And then when you get that word crooked, all right, that word crooked is iqual the one, which it just says crooked here, but when you get the root word, it's iqual, which means to bend or to twist. And it made me think about the scripture says, who can make straight what the Lord pretty much already has to be crooked. You see, it also too that word crooked also goes into Egypt as well too when you go into it. But you know, spiritual Egypt is ran by who? Esau, man.
Right.
That serpent, that crooked piercing serpent.
Crooked serpent, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was it on there.
Come on, that's right. There's so many ways you can correlate that serpent to right now that we're being pierced by. All right, literally that ties into Esau, Edom when you look at it spiritually. But you got to be able to see it spiritually in order to understand it. You know, this ain't no super deep esoteric thing about this serpent demon that's slithering around the earth and shit like that chick was talking about last night. I'm not saying she said that, but that's the shit she was on.
Yeah.
You know, you got to understand how the Lord works with prophecy, how he uses certain animals and people and such as examples. You know, was that it on that precept right there? And what was it? Isaiah 27, right? Come on, let's pull this out in Revelation 12, Baba Kishore.
What part did you want?
You know, going into that piercing, that old serpent.
Okay. Let me see.
There's a few verses down. I can't remember the exact verse.
Yeah, kind of. This is Revelation chapter 12, and I'll start at verse 9.
Okay.
It says, this is
You know,
Revelation
matter
12
of
and
fact,
9.
you know, I'm sorry, I know. Start off where it goes into the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Okay.
That's like at verse 3, I think.
This is verse 3, Revelation 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, you can read about this dragon as well in Daniel the 7th chapter, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, that's how you can correlate that with that 4th beast in Daniel chapter 7. All right, and when go ahead.
Mm-hmm. It says, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Now that great red dragon is really talking about the Roman Empire, and even Herod, all right, who was ruler over the Judean region around that time. All right, but he still was a Edomite anyway.
Right.
You know, there was different pacts and deals that was made with his fathers that actually put him in that position to rule over that land of Judea. We can go into the history, there's history behind it and everything, but just that's how he was placed over there. All right, so all that is going into the Roman Empire. Who are the Edomites? as well. All right. Today, we can look at America, which is Mystery Babylon, and we see who is running this place right now, the Edomites, along with the rest of the NATO and the EU. Those are all Edomites. Okay? Serpents.
Right.
You got it, Doc.
Con. It says in verse 4, Revelation 12:4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
Now, anybody, let's get, explain that part.
The third part of the stars of heaven was the southern tribe.
That's the southern tribes, that's right. Because when you read, and it's good that you knew that, because when you read the beginning of it, really started at verse 3. When you read from the top of that, it goes into the woman having 12 stars over her head and the sun and the moon at her feet. And those 12 stars represent the nation of Israel. So it explains how this dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns with his tail flung the third part of those stars. All right, the third part is talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, you got it.
Con. This is Revelation 12:4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered.
Right, because we got to remember the northern kingdom wasn't in slavery by these demons around this time. All right, so we were in subject under them, and I quoted it earlier, but Matthew the 11th chapter, from the days of John the Baptist, even until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So right there is a clear indicator to show you who the violent man was around that time. Even the Apostle Paul made mention in Thessalonians, where it says the man of sin, how he's to be revealed, but even that he was even revealed at that time. I might have butchered how I was worded, but that's what Paul said, loosely paraphrasing. You know, so that's talking about Esau, Edom, who are the Romans, and they're still in power today. Because America, Babylon, is nothing but an extension of that fourth beast that you read about in Daniel 7. All right, which again is likened unto this dragon right here. You got it.
Con. And then into verse 4, it says, and did cast them to the earth, and the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Right, and this is going into when Yahushua was to be born. All right, those 3 wise men were sent out there, and they were meant to report back to Herod, but they used guile, all right, and tricked him. Okay, but he sent those children, all right, he sent those soldiers out there, those Romans, those serpents, to kill those little boys. All right, that's why it goes into the prophecy of the woman weeping, you know what I'm saying, from Ramah. All right, that's what that's going into.
Rachel weeping for her children.
Rachel weeping for her children. Mm-hmm.
I find it, if I may add, I just find it very spiritual how, of course, we can connect the correlation between Egypt and Rome at that time, with the Egyptians doing the same thing that the Romans did, but specifically at that time, Herod, who was portraying himself to be the king of the Jews, which was really an Edomite, looking to try to cut off Yahushua. And it's like you see the same thing with these 1948ers, these small hats today, claiming to be Jews, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they want to ultimately do? They want to cut us off from being a nation.
Right.
It shows forth who these devils are and who they would be in the last days and who will ruin the earth. And it's not Japheth. It's Esau. That's how you know who Esau is, man. Who this devil really is, you know.
That's right.
In the same spirits.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Con, you got it out.
Con. Continuing on in verse 5, it says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne.
You read about that in Acts 1. Go ahead.
That's crazy. One verse literally was the span of Yahushua's verses.
Yeah.
That was 30. That was 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Thinking that how you summing it up.
Which shows you prophecy takes time to fulfill certain times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People try to look at these events that happen quick. That's why they in that spirit where that song you can read about in Ezekiel 12. You know, what is that proverb that you have in the land saying the vision is prolonged in the day of the, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, he says cause that proverb to cease. These things take time.
Yeah, though
You
it
know,
tarry, wait for it.
Though it tarry, wait, because it will surely come, and it will not tarry. Mm-hmm.
That's what the angel Uriel was telling the Edis.
You said what?
That's what the angel Uriel was telling Edis.
That's right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on in verse 6, it says, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, and they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Right. And that's really just going into the prophecy of us fleeing into that land, that region in Africa. You know, we was going to be taken later on for the rest of prophecy to be fulfilled in Deuteronomy 28. We're going to be in that land. And mind you, we were scattered too, so we weren't only just in Africa. But those that listened to, because this is also Yahweh Shai said it. He told them to flee into the mountains.
Yep.
You know, which shows you if you didn't listen to Yahweh Shai even then, you know, and wanted to be stiff-hearted and stiff-necked, you know, them Romans came in later on during 70 AD. But if you would have listened to Yahweh Shai, you would at least been preserved somewhere. You know?
Don't be for me. That's for me, for your children.
And
That's right.
that 1,203 square days, which of course is 1,260 days, is 3.5 years.
Right.
350 years.
350 years.
See, that's how you know that that's America.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That 350-year period, that 3.5 years in the spirit,
Yep.
after that period, like, it all just correlates and links up there.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Mhm.
It says, continuing on in verse 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels.
Now, this prophecy jumps around.
Yep.
All right, it goes in future, past, you know. But this is going into that war in heaven that's getting ready to come to pass. But it mentions this dragon. Remember this dragon, the serpent. All right, you got it.
God, it says in verse 8, it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil.
That old serpent called the devil. But right here, when you read this, this is talking about the Romans. This is talking about Esau.
God.
Which shows you it was the same spirit that was in that old serpent back in the garden. Y'all break it down. That pretty much was conjured in Edomites. All right, and that spirit was on them to cast hell upon the children of Israel and to bite us, just as it was written. All right, you remember you go into the prophecy of that in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, where it goes into the judgment that's given unto the serpent for beguiling Eve. All right, and that pretty much was that this child was going to bruise your head, but you were going to bruise his heel. All right, which is that constant warfare that we were going to have with the serpent. So you see, it makes a lot of sense why the Lord sent these Romans today, these Edomites, to have us in captivity and do what we're doing. Do what they're doing to us.
Right.
All right? They got to fulfill that. They got to bite us, just like it was written in Jeremiah chapter 8. We got to be bitten, just like it was in Numbers, the 21st chapter. Because they prayed that that's like us praying that Esau just goes away in this time. How the hell are we going to level up? How the standard going to be lifted? You know, if we pray that they go and they just get destroyed right now. It don't work like that. We got to literally bear our cross. Part of bearing our cross is having to be afflicted and be amongst these people daily. You know? But when you go into, that's why I wanted you to read that in the NLT, because it specifies on those serpents and it considers them to be a troop. So we in a time right now where they're getting ready to come like a troop. All right? It ain't going to just be just how it was in slavery. We was getting whooped. No, Daniel talks about a day that's unlike any other. You know? I got this really quick in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 68. And it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Or that troop that the brother read in Jeremiah, the 8th chapter. It says, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. This is the day that's getting ready to come. This is Revelation 12 and 12. All right. It says, verse 70, and there shall be in every place into the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So that's going to be when that troop comes up against us like a flood, as you read about it in Isaiah the 59th chapter. But if you focused on Yahweh Shai, and if we still got that John 3, we ain't even get through it yet. All right, but that's why it's so important to keep Yahweh Shai in mind, in the forefront of our mind. His sacrifice, this ministry, what we do. All right, it's important that we keep that in the forefront. That way, we will be unmovable when that day comes. Because we know the enemy's getting ready to come. All right, we know they biting us. It's getting ready to get bad. But there's a miracle that's getting ready to come with that. Just as there was a miracle that happened in Numbers, the 21st chapter. You know? You got it. I know you got a precept.
Yeah, I just ran back into what you're going into. This is Psalm 58. I started verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They and go straight as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right? Their poison, so it's going into the wicked, then speaking, this is their poison. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So going into these serpents that are biting, that was biting Jake, and really in the wilderness, but now looking at it spiritually, these serpents that are biting Jacob through their philosophies, through their speech, through their philosophies, their speech, their doctrines, their lies. You seeing Jake has been bitten, and they're literally infected by they're infected by the mindset and the processes of this place, man.
They're poison.
They're poison. They're literally poison. Like, you play a video game and then, you got a poison spell and they all green. They got the little bubbles flying over, like they light going down a little bit, and they through.
Yep.
Right? But I'm gonna continue. Verse 6, it says, "Break their teeth, O Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in their mouth."
That teeth represents the serpent's strength. That's the glory of a serpent, is its teeth. That's how it's its fangs. That's how it's able to inject that venom inside your body by piercing you with its teeth.
Yep. It says, "Break their teeth, O Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in their mouth." And also, when you break the teeth, what a charmer would also do is that whenever it was a custom that if there was a snake charmer, they would sometimes they would actually pretty much break the teeth out the serpent's mouth so that if the serpent did try to bite, it wouldn't do anything. You see, so that's why it says, "Break their teeth, O Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in their mouth," which lines up with Revelation 12 and 12, because what's their teeth is their military.
Right.
So the Lord is going to break them without hand, as the scripture says, right? It says, "Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away. Like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun."
Yeah, and that even goes into John where he says, "I saw a new heaven and a new earth."
Yeah.
These niggas got to be destroyed. And that actually goes right back to that Revelation 12.
Yeah.
Because it says, "Now will salvation come after the accuser of our brethren is put down." So Esau has to accuse and accuse for a time period. All right, that way his sins reach up to heaven. All right, in the midst of that, that's when they're going to be broken. And in the midst of all that, when you're focusing on your duties being a brother, a steward of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you're going to be sustained when they come like a flood and such. Because mind you, when they come like a flood, we know that right there is a clear sign that Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back like ASAP. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So it has to happen that way. Was that it on that precept?
Yeah.
Okay, Luke chapter 12. I'm sorry, not 12. I think it's like 10. I can read it actually. I got it right here. Yeah.
Fall from heaven?
This is Luke 10 and 19. It says, oh wow, I was tripping. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because my shit just jumped back to a whole different precept when I clicked on it.
Luke 10 and 19, it says, "Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions."
Yahweh Shai clearly said it cut and dry. Who's the serpent is talking about? The troops, those Romans around that time. That's power that's getting ready to come. But you ain't going to have access to that power if you ain't looking upon the Son of Man to be saved, especially when that time comes. A lot of Christians like to throw around that I'm saved. Got an idea what the hell they claim to be saved from. One, you don't know even know who your enemy is. They're walking around thinking a man in the center of the earth with a pitchfork out here poking buttons. You know what I'm saying? And coming up there whispering in their ear. It don't just work like that. You got to know who you can be saved from. Then the growth comes. Where's that scripture in Jeremiah? It said, "The summer is far spent and we are not saved." Jeremiah 8.
Is it Jeremiah 8?
Yup.
Okay, yeah.
We are not saved. That's because those dang Babylonians was on their ass. And Jake was being wicked as hell. You see both of that happening hand in hand today over here in Mystery Babylon. But Yahweh Shai has given the elect, Lord will know of that number, license and authority to tread over those serpents and those scorpions. Go. There's a little more to that, Yawan.
It says, "And over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you."
There you go, over power of the enemy. People think it's this mystical hocus pocus, like how they say in church. Man, that's the enemy right there. Yeah, we get it. Satan is doing his thing, man, but he has a seed on the planet Earth that he's controlling to do what they doing. And Jake don't see that. Yahweh Shai wasn't just talking about just mystical arts right there. No, he's talking about these actual people that are over us that we have power over if we believe.
That's right.
That's right. Can I get 2 words in that verse for you?
Yeah, please.
All right, I want to get that word tread and I want to get that word serpent. So that word tread in the Greek is pateo. It says to tramp. Excuse me, let me just close out by so pateo, right?
Pateo.
Right, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like potato. No, but it's pateo. But
Sound like that Indian last name Patel.
it kind of pateo. It says to tread, to trample, crush with the feet. But check this one out. It says to advance by setting foot upon. To advance by setting foot upon. It says to encounter successfully the greatest perils from the machinations, which is like the divinations, and greatest perils from the machinations and persecutions with which Satan would fain thwart the preaching of the gospel.
There you go. So he's using even militant terminology as he's explaining that, treading over. Showing you the Lord is a man of war, and it's going to actually be a physical thing that's going to happen where these individuals are going to get broken over the head.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
We're still waiting to experience that because, when you read in Acts, miracles happen, a lot of things was done, but the prophecy ain't come to pass just yet in these last days where 1,000 going to be put to flight. That's still going to happen. That's still got to happen. All right? One of you shall chase 1,000, shall tread over our enemies. In the days of Acts, we didn't tread over our enemies. You know, it was a beautiful thing that happened, but there's a next part that still has to come to pass. Because now it's a transition of power. If my kingdom was of this world, my servants will fight. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to intervene where it's time for the servants to fight. All right? And we're going to know through the Spirit. It ain't going to be your AR, your bulletproof vest, or anything that's tangible or carnal that's going to allow you to do it. Granted, certain brothers have guns and this, that, and the third, but the brothers that have guns are spiritual with their guns. All right? Just wanted to put that disclaimer out there too. I ain't just saying for, you know what I'm saying, we going to beat up the enemy, this, that, and the third. It's going to be on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's terms.
Jake
all right?
with guns.
Yeah, Jake out there. Well, yeah, man, you know, brothers just say that. Fuck you. No, man.
The sticks.
I appreciate it.
Come on, bro.
It's Isaiah 54, verse 17. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. See that? Say, no weapon is going to be formed against the elect. So it's going to be divine intervention involved.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
Which is all part of the standard. All right? There was a term that's called the environment of impossibility. You know, when you're in these dire scenarios and you think that basically there's no way out, but that's when the Lord shows that He is who He is in those moments. So that's what's getting ready to go down in these trying times, you know.
That's right. That's a beautiful point, man. And what stands out in that verse, that's one of my favorite verses right there, bro. And when it says, their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord, showing that it's authorized by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So whatever is done to stop a weapon to be formed against you to prosper, just know that it's authorized by the Lord, which shows you it's going to be done in a very divine, aspiring way. You know what I'm saying? To show that it's authorized by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's that power that we've been given. All right? That's why, I mean, you know, if you're on gun, you know, that's cool. It is what it is, you know. But, man, the way the Lord getting ready to save, bro, it's going to be like, yo, it's going to be on some off-the-wall type stuff, man. You know, stuff that you dream about. That's what the Lord is getting ready to do. And He might use you, you know what I'm saying, as that tool or that weapon in certain accounts. Who knows, man? But He says, I shall give you power to tread over serpents and scorpions. That's getting ready to come. If you keep your Yahweh Shai on the forefront, you finna get front row seats to see it live in action.
That's right.
Precept.
Come on, Bubba Kashaw.
Jeremiah 51:20. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So through that power, that spirit that the Most High gonna put on us, man, He gonna turn us into His weapons. You know?
That's right.
Not according to our own merits and will, with a gun, thinking it's because of you that you're gonna destroy the enemy. Nah. It's gonna be through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
That's right. That's right.
That standard being lifted. I don't know if y'all read that or
Nah, we quoted it, but we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
read
yeah.
it yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, beautiful stuff.
Jeremiah 51:20.
Well, that's what I just read. Yeah. Okay. I just read it for myself.
Come. And these are the perks.
That was it on that, by the way.
Come. These are the perks that comes with looking at the serpent and being and living. When I say serpent, you know, we went into Numbers 21, the brass serpent, and we can segue right back into John the 3rd chapter.
Okay.
And you can start at 14 again, Bubba Kashaw.
Okay, John 3rd chapter. This is
Like
John.
21, Bubba Kashaw. Or is it look up?
This is John 3 and start 14 again.
14 again, Bubba
John
Kashaw.
3 and 14. Say John 3 and 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right, you ain't gonna perish. All right. Not only are you gonna, be like him, as you read in 1 John the 3rd chapter, but when our enemy comes up against us like a flood, they threatening you, they trying to come up and kill you. He said you ain't gonna perish if you're looking at the sun. All right. And then he goes into saying everlasting life, which means Godhood come next. And that's a perk. I mean, all the elect, all of Israel, namely, because that's the Most High's elect at the end of the day, Israel. So Israel are all going to be in God body. But those that are close to Yahweh Shai, man, we're going to see when that day come that there's even going to be levels to that stuff in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? He says we shall be like him when you read it in 1 John the 3rd chapter. You got it, bro.
Quick precept. This is Psalms 27, verses 2 and 3. This is what King David said. Psalms 27, verse 2, it says, when the wicked, even my enemies, and my foes came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Verse 3, though an host, and we know a host is basically an army, though an host should encamp against me, my heart should not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this I will be confident.
Wow.
See that? So, hey, King David was telling, even though a host should have camped around me, he said, my heart should not fear, because he knew that Yahweh Shema was with him.
Yeah, bro. Beautiful. It's like when you read about those accounts in history, like I just read Joshua recently again, and when you read about how the Lord literally obliterated the heathen, like when you read Joshua, bro, whenever you get a chance, read Joshua, bro. Like, after what happened in Egypt, those 40 years we was in the wilderness, and even in there we had some victory, a lot of victories. But when you read about when we actually received that land as an inheritance and those Canaanites that was there, bro, they got obliterated, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ran through like a sweep running through, you know what I'm saying? Sweeping the flow. Them niggas got steamrolled, bro.
Them got killed.
You said what?
A lot of them got killed.
A lot of them got killed. You had certain of them that had to come subtly and say, I come from this house right here, and really lie because they ain't want no smoke.
They all sitting all dusty and stuff.
Made themselves servants and tools.
Made themselves serve. Yeah. We made them pitchers of water and hewers of stone.
Yep.
Well, captivity. When we get that authority in the land, they're gonna be captive.
Yep. Bringing tributaries unto us.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 14, yep.
That's right.
It was hailstone. It was big ass, it was like meteorites.
Yeah.
Come out the sky that was destroying.
Mm-hmm. It does say hail too.
Yeah.
When you actually go into that, it was hailstones that fell as well. When you read that. But the Lord, at the end of the day, the Lord fought for us. And that's because we were on point. Jake got circumcised again, made an offering unto the Lord, reaped what the Lord said unto him. They kind of went off here and there when you read it in Joshua, and you got that example when Jake went off. All right, he took that Babylonian garment, you know what I'm saying, and then we fought against the children of Ai and started getting smoked a little bit, and Jake was complaining, and the Lord said, because you got a wicked nigga amongst you, you know what I'm saying, and when you go into his name, I think it's Achan or Achan. When you go into that name, it literally means trouble. You know what I'm saying? So some troublesome Negroes that was amongst them that caused us to fall. But when we got rid of that and repented unto the Lord, bro, when we in one mind and likeness with the Lord, bro, that standards are automatic. And we got examples of what happened in the past. Now in the day that's getting ready to come, that's unlike any other, we finna see the Lord work like in a way we've never even heard of him work before.
Children of Achan gonna be removed again.
The children, that's right, brother.
2/3,
Mm-hmm.
11's the whole one.
Yep.
That's right.
They gotta be moved out the way.
That's right. They got stoned and they got burned with fire. The Lord hit their ass with double destruction.
That's why when you read in Hosea, I think it's Hosea the the second chapter, I want to say it talks about how the Lord said He's going to make a way out of the valley of Akon, the valley of trouble,
Right.
and we're going to have a pathway and be comforted.
Mm-hmm.
And that valley of trouble we're talking about here.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying? The wilderness that we're in right now.
Yeah, because when you go into that, that was a land that it was called after they got stoned, and it was a heap of stones that was right there as a monument. You know what I'm saying? Of the Lord giving us victory, and at the same time, what the Lord is going to do to the wicked. You know? So it's going to be a path right there. A lot of Jacob going to die, but in the midst of that, the elect going to rise.
Straight gate.
You know, the straight gate. That's right. You know, but we can end it off in that John 3.
Back to it. Can I grab a real quick one?
Please. Whatever precepts brothers got.
This is Hosea 1:7. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by Yahweh their power, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Just a real quick one.
Yeah, come.
Going to what you was bringing at.
Yeah, beautiful. And the only way that can be done is completely trusting in the Lord, looking at the Lord.
Yep.
You know, the elder Yatzak always brings this example out when Stephen was stoned. You know, before he gave up the ghost and died, he seen Yahweh and Yahweh Shai right there. You got big ass stones hurled at you. When you're stoning, it ain't just no little, you picking up what you find. But when you look at them Hamites stoning on you, or whatever you see on World Star, they be having sticks and they be having big ass boulders.
You gotta get 2 men to carry
Yeah.
something, like just to throw it.
Yeah, you gotta throw that bitch like a damn shot put.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Big
they be
ass
going
stones.
right up there, slamming it right on their head, bro. So in the carnal, it's just being a man, it's like, oh snap, you
shit.
be like, oh shit. You know, but Stephen just was looking up. You know, and he wasn't even tripping on the stones that was getting
Right.
hurled his way.
Absent from the body is to be present, with Yahweh Shem
I
Shai.
didn't feel it.
Exactly.
It stopped recording too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm recording on here as well. So.
He probably did. The scriptures talk about how pretty much in Wisdom of Solomon 3 that no torment shall touch them.
Right.
You know, so who knows? Like even when he was getting stoned, he was so much in the spirit and he seen the glory of the Lord. He probably didn't even feel it. You know, he probably really didn't feel no pain.
Yeah, it's a
It
strong
was just a
tension.
body right there just getting damaged. In the sight of men, it looked like, oh man, but
That's right.
he was in peace.
Yep.
Man.
Hey, Paul got stoned.
Mm-hmm.
He came back.
He went to the,
Paul was there when Stephen got stoned.
Man,
He was there.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was there when he got stoned. Then he got
And then he got stoned.
Ain't that something, right? So how the Lord will get you, just how you what you involved in. He that man.
Oh,
Ooh.
goodness gracious. That's a spiritual nugget right there.
That was
a spirit.
That's why these classes are beautiful.
That was
Whenever we
spirit.
congregate and get together, there'll be a lot of points that get brought out.
That was a spirit.
You know, but all of this comes with looking at the Son, looking upon Yahweh Shai, keeping him as your focus. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry. You know, all this comes with keeping him first, and that comes with keeping the ministry first, treating the brother like yourself, showing mercy. You know what I'm saying? All this comes with looking upon Yahweh Shai, because we're doing this in hopes that we'll be saved.
Sure.
You know, we don't have Yahweh Shai down here in the physical form, but we have him amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at your brother, you even looking upon Yahweh Shai to be saved, man. You got it, Mike Oliver.
kind. Back to St. John 3 and 16. For the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Mind you, he's having a very intimate conversation with Nicodemus, who was a master of the law,
He's a Pharisee.
a Pharisee, talking to a Pharisee and things that only Israelites can relate to and pertain to.
Right.
So it says, whosoever, he ain't talking to a whole audience when he says this. He's talking to another Israelite.
Right.
All right? Whosoever out of y'all. Okay? You got it, bro.
Okay. For the Most High sent not his Son unto the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
That's right. That's
He-
right. You got it.
He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
Because you could imagine, bro, back there in Numbers again, in Numbers 21, those serpents come and bite, and you still had to look upon that serpent in the sky. You got all this distraction that's around you, but that couldn't stop you from looking up. You know, if you looked up at that brass serpent, you was not condemned. But that don't mean that it ain't gonna be distractions that come that way, but you still got to keep the main thing. You know, That way you ain't gonna be condemned. You ain't gonna die off. And that world right there is talking about Israel. You know, we don't gotta get it, but Isaiah 45. All right, world without end. Okay, because it was Jake that was getting bit by those serpents. Only Jake could relate to what Yahweh Shai was saying right there.
Right.
Because we had to experience that and go through that as a nation of people. You know, so when you read John the 3rd chapter, it's really dope when you really dissect that conversation that he had with Nicodemus, because he's explaining things in a way that Nicodemus would understand, being a master in the law. He didn't have to correlate it and say written over here. I mean, he mentioned in the days of Moses, you know, but when you read John the 3rd chapter, he's explaining certain things, and when you catch it spiritually, you're like, oh, okay, he's going into things in the law. I can find that in Deuteronomy. You know, it's very subtly in there, you know, but he's having an intimate conversation with somebody who's advanced in the history when you read that. That's why one of the reasons why I like it so much, you know, kind of like putting yourself in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? But just as he explained that, we got to keep that in mind every day, especially in this time that's coming. Talking to myself first and foremost. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we're getting ready to come into very deep waters and something that we've never experienced before. You know, you got certain brothers that might have served in the military and that it might even kill people, you know, but they ain't even experienced the days that's getting ready to come, you know. So, you know, with all that's getting ready to happen, just make sure that we all focus on keeping the main thing, you know, keeping Yahweh Shai first, and that comes with showing fervent charity amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? That's where the miracle lies. That love, you know, that obedience. You know what I'm saying? But anybody got precepts, points? That was pretty much all I had.
I have one.
Come on.
This is Psalm 91. I'm going to read verse 13 and through 15. It says, "Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet."
And the adder, just real quick, is a serpent for those that are listening that might not know. An adder is a serpent.
Yep. Verse 14.
Talking to the camera, you know what I'm saying, newer listeners.
Verse 14, "Because he has set his love upon me." He's talking about looking upon him, right? He says, "Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him."
And he says, because he hath known my name.
Yeah.
Now, it's not even just, I mean, we know the name is Yahweh and the son's name is Yahweh Shai. We know that what's understood don't got to be said. But what comes with that name, when you go into that word name there, it means Shem. When you go into the word Shem, it means reputation. All right? You think upon the acts of old, what the Lord did to save our forefathers from before, which is tied to his existence, being he is.
Yeah.
These are things that we consider and look at to be saved. That glory that comes with his name. You know?
Rank.
That rank. Mm-hmm.
Look up that the term "son of God" actually goes in son of the name.
Mm.
Yeah, I brought that out last time we did the sit down.
Son of
Like
the name.
Son of the name.
Heavy.
Like basically that reputation that you talking about.
Mm.
Right. Then over now, like it talks about in Sirach 44, let us praise famous men. That's
Mhm.
right, you know.
That's right. That's all getting ready to be reinvigorated.
Yep.
As the scriptures say, you know, going into I shall, you know, bring back the day the judges as of before.
Right.
All this is getting ready to be reknown on the planet Earth through the influence of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, through the name of Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, through the Holy Spirit. All right, you got it, Doc.
Psalm 91 and 15, it says, "He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him."
Hey, real quick, we haven't even experienced yet. Some of us have testimonies here and there where you might have called on the Lord and he sustained you, or he might have showed you something and you realize it. But a lot of us have never really just experienced being in dire straits and calling on the Lord as a last resort. And smack dab miracle happened right there. Fire come down from heaven. I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? We getting ready to experience that type of glory. You know, I believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe that, yo.
Oh, well, if I may add, there was a testimony that a brother had did. I don't know if he was in the camp or not, but he had pretty much got stuck up, you know, in the car, and he had
out there at Province of Babylon camp.
you know, and he ended up getting delivered because the dude that went through his phone, you know, he did a lesson on it. That's what I'm saying. But he
Seen the lessons.
he saw the name. He saw him praying to the, you know, he's like heard the name, and that shows you that the name has power, man.
That's right.
You seen a lesson, you seen the video, he was like, "Nah, man, we can't do nothing to you can't do nothing to him,
So
man."
he was devout, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Man, that name holds weight, man. We appreciate it now, but we're gonna really see when hell break loose. We're gonna appreciate that the Lord got us on his side, on his hip.
That's that strong tower,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
right.
It's that
Our
strong
doubts
tower.
gonna be diminished in that day.
Mhm.
Can I get something for you?
Up for sure.
Continuing in St. John 3:18, he that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the
Ooh,
only
yes,
begotten
sir.
Son of the Most High.
Yes, sir.
So
So
I
the
finished that for you.
Baba the Salt, the water for bringing that out, because that comes with understanding Yahweh Shai, his deity. You got a lot of guys that know that they Israelites that X out Yahweh Shai. They don't talk about Yahweh Shai. They don't consider him like that. They'll say they do, but they really don't.
Yeah.
You know, and we know through the Spirit who they are. And that's why it makes sense why a lot of them are doing what they're doing right now. Because they don't have the Son. They're condemned already.
Yep.
You know? So it doesn't surprise me when certain groups say, nah, miracles ain't going to come. Or, I mean, you still do lessons about it. You be like, man, these niggas crazy.
Yeah.
But really, on some real shit, it makes sense because the Lord ain't dealing with them like that. You know, we're the only ones that really talk about the standard, bro. Great Millstone knows that follow this doctrine because we really believe. You know, we believe a miracle's coming. We believe everything that the Lord says is going to take place. That's why our brothers, starting with the apostles on down, are so fervent going into this, man. And we speak it like we've seen it personally because of that faith. You know, so we getting ready to see. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I had, man. You know, whatever brothers are holding, anything. You good, Mafia?
Yeah.
I know you had one. That's why I'm looking at you.
We was going into that fiery serpent, you know, like
Good.
when you look at Numbers 21, they were getting bit. He didn't do away with, like you mentioned, he didn't do away with the serpent. They were still there. They just had to look upon like that standard, that brass serpent.
Come.
This is Acts 28, and I'll just go through it.
Boom,
and
beautiful.
then,
I love this account.
This is 28:3. It says, and when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said among themselves, no doubt, this man is a murderer.
The irony, though, he was a murderer at a point in time.
It says, whom thou hast escaped, the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live.
And if I just make a quick point, these are the barbarians. Like when you go into a barbarian, it's somebody who, like when you get the definition of a barbarian in the scriptures, it's somebody who's like the quote unquote unwise or the unlearned. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they had enough recollection of mind to think that time and chance happens to anybody. It was like shit. He got away from the river. He got away from the shipwreck, and he sure something got it. He going through. He getting judged for something.
Solid point.
You know what I'm saying?
Those primitive people are very spiritual in certain ways. They pay attention to signs and certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like they pay attention to a lot of those spiritual little things that take place.
They
You know?
don't even consider they getting bit right now. They don't even consider what's going on. Like they don't
Exactly.
even consider that they're even being bit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's just hating on them.
Yeah.
Just hate, you know.
They such sons of guys, Satan gotta hate them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So like I was just thought I had that.
But, you know, Paul had to be sent over to that land to convert some of those barbarians, bro.
Yeah.
They had to see that.
Yeah.
They had to, hey, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. They had to see that take place in order to be convinced and believe, yo, what's going on? Because when you read about that account, Paul just flung it off and kept preaching. You know?
He just shook it off.
Flung it off into the fire.
In the fire.
In the fire.
That's right. Mhm.
Right.
Just like what's getting ready to take place to this serpent.
That's right.
Just like what's about to happen to Esau.
Unharmed too.
Dusted off.
Mm-hmm.
Unharmed too. Like
That's right.
Unscathed.
Unscathed. Hey, the scriptures say, thou shalt eat poison to live, man. Poison from adders, serpents. We ingest so much toxic shit that's causing people to bug the hell out, go through mental disorders and such. We're eating fucked up food, you know, seeing fucked up pollution within our eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We in the midst of the shadow of death. But as we here, man, we living. It's a miracle of simple fact that we're here right now in this room, confessing the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. That's a miracle, bro. Because when the Lord said he shall send strong delusion unto these people, this is a strong delusion that's sent unto them by only the God of heaven and earth. Can't no delusion get stronger than that. So the simple fact that we've woken up out of that is a crucial miracle, man. So can expect other type of miracles to come with that, bro. You know? Yeah, that's. Would you have more on that, Amati? I know we didn't really finish up the account, so.
Just a little more, like I said, going into it. Verse 5 says, then he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm. It said, howbeit they looked when they should have swollen or fallen down dead suddenly, but after they had looked a great while and saw no harm come to him, they changed their minds and said that he was a god.
See, so they even acknowledged him being a god still right there. But of course, he taught them, you know what I'm saying? But shoot, they was convinced like, yo, the spirit that's in this guy right here ain't regular.
If y'all see me do a viper like that or something just like that and just yeah, it'll shake up the room, man.
Straight up.
And vice versa if I see one of y'all.
Mm-hmm. You know? It's gonna be like that. Oh, you was about to say something.
No, I was just agreeing.
Damn, so I'm working with this.
You might get hit like by a car or something, like just something that people expect us to be like,
damn,
like, and then we just
be good.
Like, get out,
Just dust yourself off. Yeah,
You go
brother.
flying in there, the car hit you.
Yeah, man. Hey, it says no weapon that is weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, bro. You know, like we in the, it's about time.
It's ready. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
That's right.
We
That's
are.
right. Yeah, man. It's time to be 100% convinced that the Lord is on our side, bro. Look at all the sacrifice we've made. Of course, we're unprofitable servants. So not saying that like we've done enough to keep us covered. But somebody on the planet Earth is confessing these names and doing what our fathers was doing and said was going to be done in the last days. You don't see that done in church. You don't see that done by any Orthodox religion and such. All right. You only see that being done through us. All right. In the name of Yahweh Shai. That's the only way we're able to do it. It ain't of our own. So it's really time to really be convinced fully in your mind that the Lord is with you and stop playing. Lock in. You know? But that's it. Is that it, Mafia?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Hey, Lord's willing, this was edifying. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations unto you elect across the four winds of this earth, fulfilling your lots in truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, I don't know how to. You got it, bro. I don't want to fuck it up.
You turn your phone.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Get back up.